Alright guys, I just saw Harry Potter Part 7, Part 2 a few days ago, and as you can see, just got done doing the bum review, and now here's my my opinion on the movie, my personal opinion. Of course, you can't talk about Part 7, Part 2, unless you talk about the other parts. I'll give you just my real fast opinion on them. Actually, I can really sum them up in one word. I've never been a huge Harry Potter fan. I don't hate them. I've just never gotten that into it. It's just not really my thing. I sort of wanted to like them. I wanted to be more into them, but I think something about the way that the kid actors are and the dialogue and the pacing, I just felt... I never felt was that gripping. But they're okay. Like, they're not horrible. They're not bad. I just never got that into it. A quick run-through. First movie, looked great, cool world, could care less about the characters. Second movie, hey, that's just the first movie again. Third movie actually was almost pretty good, because it really captures sort of what it's like to be a teenager, but boy, was it going gray. Fourth movie, I barely remember. Fifth movie, I barely remember, so just didn't leave that big an impact. Movie 6 I remember liking, actually, quite a bit. Again, though, it was more, by that point, it was sort of more the main kid himself. I sort of thought it was a little flat. I couldn't get into him. I sort of thought, I think Harry's the most boring character, which I don't think is good. And then Part 7, Part 1, while engaging, I thought was just unbelievably intense and just sort of overly dark. You know, they all look darker, but they never seem that much darker, to be honest. And then 7 is just like shit, you know. And I like the fact they get out of the school. It's like The Fugitive. You know, it's sort of a chase, and they're doing something a little different, but... pretty intense, and just not... I could have used a few smiles. I mean, come on. So now we have Part 7, Part 2, and I guess out of all the movies, this one, for me, is probably my favorite, because it was the one that seemed to go by the fastest, and that's always been a thing for me in the Harry Potter movies. They seem so long. I mean, God, Part 7, when they said, you know, we have to find these pieces that have Voldemort's soul. How many of them are there? And I thought it was something like 5 or 7. I'm like, couldn't you just make it 2? God. So, this is the first one where it's just like, as it ended, I just looked at the watch, I'm like, really? It's over already? And it's like 2 hours, so it's not short. But that's a sign that the movie's doing something good. Now, the other thing about it is that it's called Harry Potter, The Deathly Hallows Part 2, when really it should have been called The Return of the King Part 2, because that's really what I saw this as. I mean, the fight scenes are like, scene for scene, it's like Return of the King. I mean, there's the giant trolls, there's a giant spider, there's people running through, it's the same colors, it's kind of the same location, it's very, very similar, but it's not bad. It's still pretty good action, and it did keep my interest. And I'm happy to say that after 7 full movies, the kid who plays Harry Potter has finally gotten one emotion down, and that is pissed off. When he looks pissed off, he looks really pissed off, and you buy it when he's pissed off. The only downside is that that's the only emotion he's got in this movie. Like, there's a scene where he dips his head in this magic toilet that shows him the past, and he sees all this stuff about this main character that just changes everything. I mean, it changes the way you look at everything. It's this huge, gripping story. It's actually much more interesting than the other movies. Just this one story is so fascinating. And what's the face he has? I mean, his whole past is changed now. What's the face he has? I'm pissed off. I'm still pissed off. I'm like, dude, a tear or something. I mean, look, destroy. I mean, if I saw this shit, I'd be like, holy crap, my world's upside down. But the kid's better. And it's the first time I was actually starting to get into his character. Now, after 8 films, it's probably not the best thing, but still, finally started to get there. I do also think that the movie should not be called Harry Potter. They should be called Hermione, because she's doing, like, all the work, if you ever notice. Like, she's the smart one. She's the one kicking ass. She's the one that knows all the spells. She's the one getting him out of the situations. It's like that... It should have been about her. Actually, I really would like these movies more if they were about anybody but Harry Potter. I think he is such a bore. But, again, it flowed okay, where I think the other films... a lot of the films are just sort of formulaic. You go to the school, you meet everybody again, hello, hello, you have the Quidditch match, you have the, ooh, something's going on that nobody should know about, so everybody knows about it. And then little whispers here and there, and ooh, we got a centimeter closer to figuring out what's going on. And that's sort of every movie. Until Part 7 where they do something different. But that really dragged. I mean, that was just, like, again, you know, there's like 5 or 7 parts of the soul. It's like, So, I probably would like these movies a lot more if it was just down to 3. You could have told this in 3 films. I'll put it this way. I haven't read the books. I'll come out and say that. Everyone says the books are better. I trust them. Again, I'm just not into that. So if they... But this story, as is told, seems like it could have been done in 3 books. If the movies are like the books. Which maybe they're totally different. I don't know. I've heard various things. But as is, I didn't love it, but I didn't dislike it either. It's on the highest part of that's the best I can say for it. So, not being a super huge Harry Potter fan, I'm glad I saw it. I don't think I regret seeing any of them. But this one I sort of felt like, oh, this had the most stuff going on, and I could follow it the closest, even though there's still a ton of scenes where I had asked my friends who were Harry Potter fans, all right, why did this happen? How did this happen? What was this? Blah, blah, blah. I will say, the climax is quick, which they really build up. Even the trailers, they really build up Harry Potter going up against Voldemort. You know, they build up them shooting the wands, and, you know, the movies build it up. It's over so quickly, and I really would have liked something that had a lot more punch to it. But there's so much action, and the rest of it really doesn't matter. So, again, on the whole, I say, but a very high for me. For Harry Potter fans, I went with people who weren't fans and people who were. The people who were fans seemed to really like it. They said it was pretty close to the books. They left out a few things, but that just happens. People who weren't were still confused by a few things, but liked it okay. You know, enjoyed it. So it's probably a solid bet that you're not going to get too many people that are going to hate this movie. All the problems I have with it, you know, I sort of put in the bum review. But again, you give it a little leeway because it is quote-unquote children's fantasy, and you let that stuff slide. This school will be closed in a millisecond. But, you know, it's whatever. It's fantasy. It's all good. So, yeah, that's really about it. I can't say I'm going to miss having these movies around because I was so sick of going to see them and have to review them. But none of them were god-awful, and none of them were spectacular, in my opinion. I thought they were all just... They were decent. They were okay. And I know it's meant a lot to, like, a big generation of people. That's cool. It's gotten a lot of kids into reading. Thank God. I think that's wonderful. So, I don't hate the Harry Potter event, franchise, whatever, at all. I like a lot of the stuff that's done. It's gotten a lot of people into fantasy. So, yeah, that's pretty much my 2 cents. I guess I recommend it. Even people who aren't fans, you'll probably get something out of it. You know, even if it's just a fun little adventure. So that's about it then. I shall see you later.